Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm gonna be filming my October book haul. I'm sitting here looking at a stack of like 20 to 25-ish books right here in front of me, and there's a lot to get through, so let's just jump right in, shall we? Yes! So the first three that I'm going to start with are my 3 book of the month picks for October. First one I have to show you is The Lies We Told by Camila Way. This one is an adult thriller, and I did happen to read this one this month during the Spookathon, so you'll hear all about this in my wrap-up, but I personally really enjoyed this one. Different storylines, so you're getting one perspective in the 1980s that's following this family with this daughter that's like really like dangerous and scary. And then you're also following a present-day point of view from this girl where her boyfriend has recently gone missing, and you're trying to figure out how the two storylines are connected. Next one I got is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, and this is John Green's brother. It's his debut novel, and this one is like a contemporary sci-fi-ish book, and it's about this girl who becomes a viral sensation through social media because of these statues. I don't know too much about this one, but this one also sounds very interesting, and I can't wait to jump into this one. The last one I got is Winter in Paradise by Ellen Hilderbrand, and this is another mystery slash romance slash contemporary, I think, and it's like, it follows this girl who her husband goes to these islands and he dies while he's there, and so she goes to the islands herself and tries to figure out what exactly happened with his death, and she discovers a second family on the island of his and just a bunch of secrets that she never knew about. Next up, Atria Books sent me 3 books. So the first one is The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton, and I'm pretty sure that this one was also offered as a book of the month selection this month. Follows 2 different point of views as well, I'm pretty sure. One of them is taking place in the summer of 1862, and then the other one is a present day point of view, I'm pretty sure, and it takes place in London. So yeah, it's kind of a mystery that it's like half historical fiction, half mystery. You're trying to figure out something that happened in 1862 that shaped the lives of the people in the present day, I'm pretty sure. This one sounds really interesting. There's also a really pretty map in the front here. The next one they sent is The Ghost Photographer by Julie Rieger. So this one is actually a memoir about a Hollywood film executive. So it's a true story, and the author of this book was responsible for marketing films such as Avatar, Deadpool, The Fault in Our Stars, and The Book Thief. This is like her first memoir talking about what it's like working behind the scenes on certain movies, so I'm definitely interested in picking this one up as well. And the last one that Atria Books sent is Watching You by Lisa Jewell, and this is an arc. This book comes out December 26th, and I did manage to read this one this month as well, and it was freaking fantastic because Lisa Jewell is fantastic. And yeah, you'll hear more about this one in my wrap-up, but it basically follows this group of people in a small town, and there's like creepy things happening, like people watching each other and people feeling like they're being watched, and secret relationships and just a bunch of different things. Thank you so much, Atria. Thank you, Ariel. You're the real MVP for sending me this. Next up, Scribner sent me Ellie Kemper's first memoir called My Squirrel Days. Ellie Kemper is an actress on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and she was also on The Office, which are 2 shows that I haven't watched a ton of. I've watched a little bit of The Office, but not much. So thank you to Scribner for sending me this one. St. Martin's Press sent me The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves, and this one is also an arc that comes out April 2nd next year. This is another one that I'm really excited about. All I really know about this one is that it's a romance novel and like a contemporary novel, but it takes place in 2001 in Chicago, and then it's like a second chance love story, I'm pretty sure, and so I'm pretty sure it takes place in 2001, and then there's also present chapters and it's going back and forth. At least that's what I want to say is happening in this. But oh my god, I'm really excited to read this, not only because it sounds really good, but because Taylor Jenkins Reid blurbed this, Colleen Hoover blurbed this, like a lot of my favorites have blurbed this one and said it was great, so I cannot wait to read this. I'm probably going to end up reading this in November. Next up, the author Jacqueline Middleton sent me her newest book, Until the Last Star Fades, and this one is coming out on November 8th. This one is a new adult romance. So it follows this girl who's in her senior year at NYU when she meets this guy named Ben, who's 23 years old and British, and he's alone in New York. He's a struggling actor. It's a love story between those 2 characters, and yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. This is going to be the first thing I read in November for sure. Next up, Big Huncho Media and Freeform Books sent me Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil, and this one is described as like the Hunger Games kind of, but like horror version, I'm pretty sure. The near future where good and honest citizens can enjoy watching the executions of society's most infamous convicted felons, streaming live on the Postman app from the suburbanized prison island Alcatraz 2.0. And then it follows this girl who's like mistakenly accused of murder, and it's described as the Death Row Breakfast Club. So, yeah, I'm pretty interested in reading this one as well, actually. I don't read a ton of, like, young adult thriller horror stuff, but this one actually sounds pretty interesting. Pantheon Books sent me 2 books. The first one is Marvelocity, which is this giant-ass amazing book about, like, the original designs of all the Marvel characters. So it has, like, a bunch of different drawings throughout this whole book, and it's all glossy pages, and it's all just, like, really, really nice. And I was just so stoked to get this because I'm a huge Marvel fan, and it has tons of the original drawings of almost all of the Marvel superheroes, even including like Black Panther and Spider-Man. Yeah, so this book was just very, very exciting to get in the mail, and I can't wait to look through this whole thing. Another one that they sent is the Anne Frank's Diary graphic novel adaptation, which I think is so, so cool. I read Anne Frank's Diary when I was in elementary school, as I'm sure most people do for required reading, and I just think it's so cool that they've adapted it into a graphic novel, and I just think that this is probably going to be the most like emotional, amazing thing ever, and I can't wait to check this one out as well, but oh my gosh, so, so cool. Next up is Keywords Press sent me Rebels of Eden by Joey Graceffa. He's that YouTuber. He wrote this young adult trilogy. It's like a dystopian trilogy, I'm pretty sure, and this is actually the 3rd book in the series, which is kind of a shame because I don't have the first 2 books, and I haven't read the first 2 books, and I don't really know if I have a desire to read the first 2 books, but they sent me this one, so the next book I have to show you was sent by Simon & Schuster, and that is A Cloud in the Shape of a Girl by Jean Thompson, and this one was an arc that just came out on October 9th. It is a moving family saga about 3 generations of women who struggle to find freedom and happiness in their small Midwestern college town. And so this one is a historical fiction that's spanning from World War II all the way to the present day. Yeah, this one just sounds really gorgeous, and I love that it follows a bunch of women. Alright, and the last books that I have to show you are all books that I've bought for myself this month, and I went a little crazy on the book buying this month because I got a pretty big promotion at work this month, if you haven't heard yet, so I celebrated by buying myself books, because, you know, that's what I do. So the first ones I have to show you are ones that I got off of Amazon. So the first one is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, and this one was one that I was planning on reading during the Spookathon, but I got 10 pages into it, and I just could not get into it for the life of me, so I haven't read it yet, but I still do plan to read it soon. This one is a classic novel. It follows this character, Patrick Bateman, who's a serial killer, psycho character. If you don't know about it, I mean, it's one of the most like controversial books of all time, and that's mainly part of the reason why I wanted to read it, so I really can't wait to read this one. I do still want to read it. The next one I got off of Amazon is Black Hole by Charles Burns, and I did read it during the Spookathon, and it was very interesting. Not really my thing, but this is supposedly one of the creepiest graphic novels of all time. It's all like black and white imagery. It was very creepy when I read this. I just didn't really love the story. This one was very interesting. The next 3 books that I got from Target and Barnes & Noble. The first one I got was Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is a young adult thriller that is absolutely poppin' right now. It's got all the hype in the world on social media right now. So it follows this girl, and her younger sister has died and was murdered, and so then it's about her older sister going after the killer, and then it's also told in podcasts by this guy who did this podcast show about what happened with these 2 girls, so it's jumping back and forth between the perspective of Sadie and then the podcast, so you're kind of like doing both. And I did read this one this month. I didn't love it as much as everybody else seems to, but yeah, you'll hear more about this in my wrap-up. Another book I got this month was Vengeful by Victoria Schwab, and this is the sequel to Vicious, and I did read this book this month as well, and it's like my new goddamn favorite thing in my fucking life I've ever read. I love it so much. This is the sequel to Vicious. Vicious is a fantasy-ish, sci-fi-ish story about these superhumans they're kind of like superheroes and villains, but they kind of like blur the lines between what's right and wrong. So they're kind of like anti-heroes, and Victor Vale is like my favorite fucking character in fiction. Like I love him so much. And another book I got this month was Saw Kill Girls by Claire Legrand. I don't know, it's just everybody's been saying that this book is really like strange and spooky. I feel like the main genres for this book are mystery fantasy-ish, contemporary-ish. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one still. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but this one is on my next up to read list. And the last 5 books that I got this month were from Value Village. If you didn't know, at Value Village, if you buy 4 books, you get the 5th one for free. So I feel like I almost always leave with 5 books in my hand from Value Village. This one is Us by David Nichols. And I think this one is just about a marriage that's like falling apart, and there's like somebody else coming into the marriage. I'm pretty sure it's like a love triangle situation. The next one is Dear Fang with Love by Rufy Thorpe. And all I know about this one is that it deals with mental illness and marriage, I'm pretty sure. I didn't actually know anything about this when I saw this book, but I looked it up on Goodreads and it has really good reviews, and everybody's saying that it deals with mental illness in a really sensitive and like helpful way, so I really want to read this one. I'm thinking I'm gonna add it to my November TBR because it's nice and short. The next one I got is Watch Me Disappear by Janelle Brown. This is an adult thriller that I've been wanting to read for such a long time, and I really like this cover of like this edition that I found. I've only seen the other cover usually, but I really like this one with the pink and the woods. The next one that I found is actually an arc of Unraveling Oliver by Liz Nugent. This one, I know you're like not supposed to buy arcs, but like I found it at Value Village and like I was like, holy shit. It came out in August last year, but this one's also an adult thriller. I do have another book by the same author that I haven't read yet, so now I have 2 thrillers from her that I need to get to. And the last one I got is The Flight Attendant by Chris. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce this last name. This is another adult thriller, and it follows this flight attendant who is like an alcoholic. Yeah, so she like wakes up in a hotel room in Dubai after she had like flown there, and there's like a body man in her bed, and she's like not sure how he got there. This one just sounds really good. It doesn't have like the best reviews on Goodreads. I don't know, I'm really excited and I'm really happy that I found this at freaking Value Village. It's like, it's crazy, it's wild. Those are all of the books that I got in October. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and let me know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are on them. If any of these books are some of your favorites and you think I should read them immediately, then let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye. Those are all of the books that I read. No, I didn't read these.